I don't want to skimp on the screws on this corner because it's going to be under a lot of pressure when we're moving this thing around. So I'll mark it with my seal.
Yeah, I guess you got.
Huh?
You got a battle wound, huh?
Yeah.
Today we are building the pig shelter. And last year, Chris tried 2 different kinds of designs, one with a different type of fencing and then one that was self-enclosed, and we realized these pigs just need some more room. So tell us what you're doing.
I think the main point here is trying to get a 4x8 skid shelter. So basically we're going to use these 4x4s. We've cut 45-degree angles on each end so that when we're pulling it, it'll skid along the ground without catching. And then we're going to do a 4-foot on either end, wide, 3-foot tall on the back, 5-foot tall on the front, and then 8 feet long. And then probably just do a lean-to style roof. We'll see how creative we want to get when we get to that point, but I think I've got enough material. I went and bought materials yesterday. I think I've got enough to do that. And then what we'll do is T111 siding, and then we'll just paint it to match everything else that we eventually paint here on the farm. So.
Gotcha.
Until we start our rafters, our cuts are going to be 90 degrees, so we'll just set that and lock it in at 90. Now we're going to start measuring our boards here for 4-foot length. Couple ways to cut this. This is the easiest here on the chop saw, but you can also just use a regular circular saw, which I'll demonstrate here in a second. Smart thing to do is put an X on the side that you want to cut. I almost cut on the wrong side of the line. My 4-foot length would have been the blade width short. Always measure and mark on the right side of the line. And because I bought 93-inch studs, which is not normal, well, it's normal for framing, but one thing to watch out for is when you're buying lumber material, the lengths are not always what they say. So a 2x4 is 1.5 inches by 3.5. 93 inches long in this case, not a full 8 feet, which allows for, when you're doing framing, it allows for the stud, 93-inch stud, and then you've got 1.5 inches, and 1.5 inches would give you your full 8 feet. So something to watch out for.
Over the last year, we realized that everything that we build, we need to be able to have multiple uses out of it if needed. And so Chris's idea this time is we'll have room to build a bench inside of this little structure so that it can be used for goats. We only have the pigs for so many months.
I know I'm gonna have 1.5 inches my outside stud on either end. And then I want to go 2 feet on center, because this is a 4 foot wide structure and it's only going to be 3 feet tall. I feel comfortable going 2 feet on centers instead of 16, which would be typical. So I'm just going to mark out 2 feet right here. Then if I mark 3/4 of an inch on either side, I can make a mark. And if I just line my stud up right there, that'll give me 2 feet on center. And to make sure our wall is true, you just take your next, what would be your top plate, and transfer the lines over, make sure they're flush on the end. And that's your basic layout for a simple wall that we're doing here. Our framing members are going to go here, here, and here. 33 inches long. Will give us a 3 foot tall wall. Alright.
So what are you doing now?
Well, I'm probably the worst offender when it comes to not planning, writing plans down on paper. I think I've got it right in my head and I just get going on it. So what I'm doing right now, the way I've kind of designed this up in my head is to just work with the materials that I have. So the nice thing is I'm able to get framing members and bottom and top plates out of, you know, one full 2x4. So that's kind of what I'm designing on the fly here as we go. So in order to secure the walls, especially the end walls, because they're going to be what's getting the most pressure when we're pulling this thing around, I've gotten 4-inch Timberlocks I'm going to use to secure the wall to the 4x4 skids and that should give it enough strength, especially once the T111's on here locking the corners and everything together. Should give it plenty of strength for when you're pulling it around so that it won't rack and eventually uplift off of the skids here. So I guess the nice thing I like about this Craftsman drill, I don't know if it works or not, but it does have a lock and unlock feature. Supposedly that's of course unlocked there and you just twist, but without hitting the trigger, supposedly once you hear it click there, that's locked in. I do like that about the Craftsman drill. To be 4 foot wide, and because I've already accounted for that when I cut my top plate and my bottom plate for this wall, the only thing I'm going to do is just line it up side to side, and then just Timberlock them in. I do know this 4x4 is a little bit longer than 8 feet. I think it was 8. I want to say 8 1/4. It's actually 8 3/4 of an inch. So if I was, that really don't make a difference to me if the wall's is a little bit extra. The only place that you would have to be concerned of is if you're, doing a 4x8 sheet, you want to make sure that you've got enough room to account for that. So what I'll do there is take that 3/4. Yeah, I guess I will split the difference on either end so that I've got truly 8 feet. Three-eighths of an inch on either end, I guess. And then we'll leave that. I can either cut that off. Probably cut that off. Yeah, let's do that first. Just fit right inside here. So I need to cut 89 3/4, 88 3/4. 4 of them. Happy with that. Just tacking this in place, and we're going to go back and get it squared up. push screw right here.
Well, here's what we got so far. We got the slides on, the front wall. The entrance will be right here. The roof will be coming off of this and going down. Very simple structure, but it'll work.
I need to build out this last little section right here so that I can start hanging rafters on this thing. So I'm just going to use some leftover material that I had from our previous cuts, and I'm just going to sister them just like this, and then we'll do one like this. Square it up. That's how I do where I need to be. Yeah.
Where are you going to put it? And then you put two.